Hello guys, my name is Soy Sister, and today I'm gonna show you how to port the weapons model into the CS2. So when I'm gonna port the weapon model to the CS2, we do not making the custom animation for that specific weapons because it's actually kind of impossible without having the full software and the tools from the Valve, which basically like the the animation graph 2 stuff like that one, which allowing the users to making the custom animation. So today we just simply gonna port the these models and replacing these models to the M4A4. So it's gonna be the M16A1, and I'm gonna download this one, and I recommend you to download the format for FBX or the OBJ, which usually contain the material file and the texture files that you're gonna need for creating the texture and the material in the CS2 workshop. But in the case where you are actually have like the OBJ file or the FBX files over have the file size over the 100 megabyte, you can try to use the GLB using the texture size as 1K also work in the same time. So in this case, well, I actually want to have the OBJ format since in the GLB they already including the model file, and in the case when you're gonna need to use the texture file, you have to like unpack them in the Blender, which gonna take like some extra step. But sometimes they like if the model was so detailed, like they have the normal file and the roughness stuff like that one, you're gonna have to unpack like multiple times, which is not, it's kind of time consuming, so I'm not gonna do that. And I'm gonna save it in my workspace here as a game assets. Now the first thing that you actually want to look into it is you want to go to the your model dock here and search for the guns that you try to replacing it. So in my case, I'm looking for the M4A4, which is not here for some reason. Okay, maybe M4A4. Alright, because in the class name for the M4A4 is M4A1, while the M4A1 silencer is M4A1 silencers. So in this case, we're gonna replace it with this one. Okay, so you get the size of the file, which you see that it's empty here, but that is not the case when if all we want to have it is the mesh file and the skeleton of the M4A1 here. So we're gonna name it M4A4 and export it. It does not contain any animation, like maybe it contains a little bit, but we don't need it for now. And also, if you actually have like the skeleton files, which you can see it here, you can see that is that it has have like a lot of the bone inside here. This is also because when you export some of the gun, they only contain about the several of the bone. Like as you can see, like it's contain like a lot of this one, but it does not contain the muscles if I gonna import it in the Blender. So we're gonna go to the Blender. I'm still using the 4.3. Like a lot of people already move on to the Blender version 5, but because like I kind of lazy to just install like the AMD and the cat plugins here, so I'm gonna keep using this one. Now the first thing that you want to do is you want to import the FBX files that you got that from the Valve, and then you see that it's kind of small. This is happened because the skeleton was scaled out to 0.01, scale up to 1, and then you're gonna got like the actual like the position where you need to working on. Now well, you have to rotate this one to the correct position. well, because the modules of the CS2 always pointing to the X direction here. So this one is the correct one. Now you don't have to do anything about the this one, like it's kind of floating up there, but that is not what we need to concern about that at all. All right, okay, and then I gonna import it, the M4A1, not the M4A1, M16A1. Now sorry about this one, I have like several of the stuff that I'm working on here. Go to my CS2 server, weapons, M16A1, and then you want to get the source file and the texture out here. And also, if it's possible, you create another one for the decompile. Okay, now after you get this one, we gonna import the texture later, but not in the Blender. We don't need to import those stuff into the this one. Now you can see like it has like render mesh 1 and the mesh 0. So it has the game itself has providing you the two type of the guns inside here. So the first one is the legacy. Well, the legacy version of the gun, which, well, it's kind of it's actually I might have to try to check on this one to see that which one is the legacy, which one is not. Okay, because it's kind of uncertain. I kind of uncertain about this one. Okay, this one is pretty flat, and then comparing in this one. All right. So the mesh 0 is the legacy mesh, and the render mesh 1 is the HD version or high definition models which used in the current CS2 game. And if I go look at it behind, yeah, it does not include the stuff behind here. Okay, default and default mesh, yeah, as I expect. Okay, so the bone itself having the only contain about bolt clip trigger size and HE1, but the skeleton file itself, okay, this one has a muscle, but probably not something that we can dealing with about it. So we're gonna leave it like that, leave it there. Oh yeah, it's usable and has the side. Let's see, but I think maybe I can try to adjust the skeleton, but well, unfortunately that's one have to wait. Okay, so after that, let's import the models, the FPX. No, actually this time it's the OBJ, and let's go to the source file. Oh wait, well, there's nothing here. Oh, I see. It has the extra 7 side one for some reason. Okay, now drag down, refresh one time, and it's appear. And now the model itself is kind of big, but that's is not the main thing that you want to worry about it. So rotate the gun and make sure that you position the guns correctly to close enough for them to match up with this. And also you probably want to scale down this gun to matching with the size. Now the M4 and the M16 is kind of identical, so it's not something that you need to worry that much. See, I not even like match it perfectly, but the gun itself is already like look pretty good for this case, almost matching with the magazines and the place about this one. Now after that, hide the render mesh, and we're gonna have to work on with the skeletons here. Now we don't need to worry about some of the bone here, but first of all you're gonna need to assign this thing to the bone itself here. Control P, and then apply it and and set the parent to win the empty group here, which is the Control P, and then go to the this one, to the data here, and change that to the paint in the weight paint. And because you can see like it does not have any weight on any bones here, so go to the edit mode this time, and then go to weight paint, but maybe not right that one. Okay, so I'm gonna select all this one and then assign to the weapon offset. Okay, this one is good. And then when you go to the weight paint, it's all red, meaning that the weight paint has been applied to the whole guns. But now, because the weapon offset is the main one, but you have to apply the several things different here. So like the magazines, the trigger here, as you can see. So go to the edit mode, and this time select, well, I'm gonna use the face mode, and then using the Control L. Well, Control L is actually kind of very easy to do. So basically it say like select all the connect the mesh, and then I'm gonna go to the trigger and assign this one, and magazine. Okay, this gun is this gun's model is a little bit have a lot of triangles here, but this is how the the weapons model work. Okay, this one does not contain some of the magazine inside, but if I look inside, it is pretty much very empty, isn't it? So let me check in the empty object again. Apparently that this thing's from the okay. Okay, get inside and Control L for this one. Sometimes it's not select the whole things here, so you have to do it manually here, and then try to drag that to check if everything that you try to get is here or not. Okay, this time it's worked, but some part here was actually not looking good, but we're gonna ignore that one. We're gonna do it some for the examples. Okay, so in this case I'm gonna assign for the clip. Alright, and now I go to the weight paint and check the trigger, check the grip, check the weapon offsets. Now that's the one thing that I forgot to do is basically like, because if you have like two weight on the one face here, it's gonna cause a problem. So we're gonna remove it in this one, and then let's go back to the weight paint. Okay, this time is actually correct, and then switch back for the Control L and remove this case for the trigger one too, or else it's gonna having the issue later. Okay, bolt, clip, trigger. Now the clip is here, and the bolt basically up here without a doubt, or maybe it's like it was side here, but in the case that you don't know, open up the old one, the old models here, and then go to the weight paint. This one is a side, and this one is a bolt. So when the guns when they go to animations to actually deploy the weapons, it's always gonna pull the this bolt here. So we're gonna also have to do exactly the same for these models. Now I want to turn off the mesh for this one, because it's kind of like blocking the wheel here. So yeah. Alright, so I try to pull this thing. Okay, it's look kind of good, I guess. And then we're gonna assign it for the bolt and remove it from the weapon offsets. Now you pretty much get like the main things done here, and you don't need to do for the size or the this one or the weapons. Mostly you just check for the the clip, the triggers, and the some of the bolt if the animation has something like pull back behind or some stuff like that one. Okay, and save that to the M61. Save that here, and then all right, this looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna remove these two things here because we're no longer using those stuff, and we're gonna export the this one to the workshop areas that we're working on. In this case, I'm gonna save that in the weapon photos and the models and my name, and then the weapon names here. And save it here, but don't forget to rename the this one, the collection name, or else it's gonna having some the weird name on it, because we want to have like DMX file like this one. Okay, now the second things that you want to work on is the magazines. So I'm gonna save this one and name it the magazine and save it. Okay, and then go to the edit mode and deselect it, and then select only the clip here, and then Control I, remove the whole things here because we're no longer using for this case. We already need the clip for this one, and remove the remove the bone and name it magazine for this one, and then you move these things down there. Oh shit, it's not okay, never mind, I forgot about this one thing. Okay, so we're gonna set the origins to the geometry, how does that spell again? Geometry, yeah. I'll set this thing to the 0 0 here, and then I'm gonna set the origins to the oh wait, hold on, wrong one. Set the origins to the 3D cursor this time. Now is perfect. Oop. Okay, so it's gonna sitting there, and the size does need to be changed for this case, unless if you are actually worried about it, so you can import another one. Okay, so pretty good. Okay, it's a long one, so I'm gonna export this one, Mac, and then let's import that to the Blender, and it suffered the same problem. Oh wait, hold on. Boop, one. Okay, this one, however, let's make it sit exactly the same position, and then set the origin to the 3D this one, and we don't need to move this stuff. We don't need to move to match this stuff any longer. And then the magazine, just remove it, we don't need it, and save it. Now this thing also does not need, because we don't have any vertex group for this one. It's basically just the models for when you are dropping the Mac to the ground, something like that. And then export it for the magazine. Now we got two of them. Now the next step is you're gonna need to have the weapons, the VMDLs or the models file for the creating the new one. So to get those one, I recommend you to go to the source 2 viewer and then grab this thing, go to the models and looking for the model of the gun that we're gonna work on, M4A4, and then just decompile and export, but we don't want to decompile here. We want to decompile it correctly in these folders. The reason that you don't decompile it like directly to your workshop is because the CS2 workshop is gonna confusing when they have like the source file of the guns that not supposed to have in the workshop tools there. Okay, so now I got it, so I rename it M1601, and two things here, remove it, and M1601 hole. So basically it was the hole is basically like the collision mesh when you drop the gun into the wall. They're gonna specify that how the gun's gonna physics gonna look like when you drop it into the in the games. So, and I'm gonna decompile this one too, and just a Mac, that's fine. Now it has the info Mac, but that one does not matter. Okay, and the MX file here, which we're not gonna using it because we're gonna use for the version of ourselves here. And Mac, now we got everything. We go to the workshop this time, M16 A1, drop it down here. Now we got everything, so go to the M1601. Now this model is currently showing the errors here, but that is not something that you have to be worried about this one. Now this is for the legacy, and for the HD we're gonna select for the M60A1 and then looking for the M60A1 DMX. It's gonna show up there. When you click on the compile, it's gonna asking like what the hell is the animation file. Now you don't want to have the animation files here to check it on, so anything, but let's disable it and only remain for the shoot animation. Now the animation files in here does not break, so you can just re-import this stuff again. And then for the shoot too, now it's gonna have the node failures, which basically the physics file here. Now don't delete it, but simply change these things to the M4A1 house and then compile it. Now it's kind of empty because we don't put the material on this one yet. Now for the house is the weapon offset. We want to move it a little bit because it's kind of like stayed out there. Offset 50, 20, 12, and 60. No, 12. No, it's go to the size, but it's not go up. Well, actually, let's not change it. It really does not have any kind of problem with that one. Okay, so basically is M6001. Now we got to deal with the materials here. Now it's kind of simple because if you have working on with the character models before, this thing is piece of cake. Anyways, the material and go to the material file here. Nah, not this one, M16. Okay, it's a decompile. It has a texture here. Now just drop it down there. Now it has two types of this thing, which is actually kind of good. So open up the this one, remove it. The material here, the new one. Well, let's select the complex. Save that to the M60A1 and name it like hand guard. Since it has the matter, the texture file name is the hand guard here. So the orbitals, all when it's talking about the orbitals, is always the color one. Okay, the hand guard. Good. Now let's go to the lining. Now it don't have the rough it does not have the roughness for this one itself, but we can using the metallic here, I think. And then the AO, the handguard here. Oh wait, it have a roughness? Okay, never mind. It does have the roughness, so we're gonna use the roughness instead. So sometimes the metallic cannot be applied here. You can see like is asking like how much that you want, but it does not telling you like if you want to. Oh, it has a metalness textures. Okay, that's good, that's good. M61, and the handguard here. Okay, look pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, but we have to keep them the normal for this one. It is 16 and the normal for the hand card. Now it's kind of ready, so we're gonna save another one. I kind of, oh shit, I forgot about this one. Okay, so I think I'm gonna name it another one is the body instead, because pretty much it doesn't have the specific name for this one. M61 for the orbital. Okay, it has the bond to kill for some reason. Okay, okay, I can just click on that one. And this one does not have the, for some reason it does not have the roughness. Hold on. I think I saw that one. Yeah, that's the roughness, and it also has a metallic metalness for these textures here. M16. For some reason, this one does not show. Maybe like if looking for the specific file. Can I change that to the all file? Yeah, this work actually. Okay, M16 roughness. Oh, I already changed that one? Oh shit, it's a roughness. Never mind. It's a metal. It's a metalness. Okay, this one. Alright, look pretty good for me. Now the normal has been applied and only the AOs that got left. But the AO itself. Oh, it does not have the AO. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, it's already half full. So we're gonna have the ambient conclusion back to white, and that's working at the same time. Now you got all the texture here. So we're gonna add the default material group, and then proceed to select the all the material here. Now let's assign at least one of them, which is incorrect because the first one is the body itself, and the second one is the handguard. Wow, this will look pretty nice actually, I have to say that. And then you can try to play animation shoot here. Now position of the this thing might be a little bit weird, but we can, I think we can, like, you know, we can actually change the muscle flash position by simply like, okay, particle, it has a particle sequence to config show inject. It does not have any this one because the gun is kind of longer, but the one is a muscle flash and a smoke at the same time. Now it's gonna look a little bit weird, but the muscle come from the up there. But how about this one? I'm not sure about the this thing, but I want to make sure about this one. So maybe like we making the extra this one for, okay, open up for one. Now is the info DMX. So okay, this file. Okay, it does not show any things, but what I can see is it comes from the weapon offset, and then the muscle. It had the red axis part in that one. So we're gonna add the extra bone for this, just in case that, well, I don't think it's gonna work, but actually it's kind of worth to try. And then Okay, and X. This time rename it to the muscle, and the muscle. Okay, just disconnect the bone because we want it to be there, and we need to have it as the normal to ensure that we have the correct position of this thing. Okay, and that one too. Okay, forgot to open the snap. 90 degrees. So let's see again. It's a name muscle, but maybe like name it muscle C because the position of the muscles will snap it automatically. We don't want that one. Okay. Then if I play again, it's still having this kind of problem, but let's set the point, the constraint point, and we're gonna constrain the point for the bone input. What's the this one is gonna be muscle C. We constrain with the just muscle like this one. Well, this one is work because we are because the constraint of the bone if not exist, it will not cause any kind of problem. So when we're using this skeleton, this thing is gonna snap into the position of the muscle C here, and it's gonna having a flashing happen in the muscle, But if you play in this one will not work because it's just the animation. But this particle was only like to simulate that if this thing how shoot or not. And let's reload. Okay, it just simply like put it down, put it back, simple as that one. Can I see that one? Okay, it does have the bullet, but the bullet is look actually not pretty good. So I don't know. Well, it's like actually look pretty good. Now pretty much you already have like everything that need for this case. So we're gonna try to put that into the server to find out if this thing is actually work or not. So how we do that? Well, so to do that, you have to grab the files from the this one. So I'm gonna go to the M60A1, and then let's get that from the magazine. Oh, I forgot about one thing. I forgot the magazine. Don't forget the magazine. It's actually something that you need to done for this one. M60A1. Now looking for the M16 magazine. Okay, it's showing up asking like the this one. We're gonna have to swap this thing into the hull of the M4A1 magazine here. Okay, well, pretty good. Even that is not perfectly matching for this one. Now it does not have the material here, so get the material. And Lambert 1.5 usually is not the handguard, obviously. So yeah, the sync is done. And then get back to the M60A1 that we're working on. And we're gonna need to go to the game data here. It has the magazine models here. You have to set that for your own magazine here, and delete all the stuff. Okay, tool warning. Body group, the legacy. Oh yeah, one last thing. Don't forget to remove all the body group, or else the gun is invisible. Okay, now this one is basically complete. Now if nothing wrong happen, I should be able to get the guns work correctly. So I have my local servers running here, and I'm gonna have to specify the gun for this one. Already working on several guns right now, so it's kind of like having some not the most favorite gun for the zombie escape, but I'm gonna need to do this anyway. So the entity is still the M4A1. You cannot deceive me for that one. And then copy the path of the XDSTA1, and then go to the shit. It has a lot. Sorry. Okay. Boop. 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 And does it have a subclass? Actually no, but let's name it M4A4. I don't remember if this one exists or not, but let's try to find one. Okay, now we have the N60A1, and go to the compile file, and then drag those files to your local game file. CSGO weapon. Yep, is this out here? And also, I'm gonna have to put this into the asset, the weapon. Put that into the place that where the gun that I using here. Okay, now I don't need the M9011 because I already have done it correctly. But M16A1 need to put it inside that one, and then gonna have to restart the server one time, and then close all this thing. Now if you work correctly, it should not have any errors or the game crash happen, which is unfortunately most of the times it's happened. Now I'm gonna go to the games with the not via the commands here. It's not work for my case. No, let's buy the info. Holy shit. It's actually the wrong one. It's the M60A1. But I about to buy the M4A4, but it's giving me the M4A1 for some reason. Or maybe like this one is not correct. Human at me. Okay, M4A4. Oh no, that's got a problem now. Shit. See, like this had exactly the same problem with the muscle. There was something that we cannot change it. But it's actually worked for some reason. Yeah, the magazine was dropping to the ground, but she does not touch it. So this is a limitation of the things that for the currently, like you only can port the models, but you cannot like do it like, you know, you cannot put it like make it like compatible for 100%. Okay, that's really good for me, but I have to find out about how to make it different for the M4A1 case. So anyway, thanks for watching.